Hello, all you happy people. Welcome to Popco the Writers.
I'm skipping it this time.
Ah, yeah. And you almost skipped tonight's episode.
I did.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I'm here. We have so much to talk about this week.
We do. This is going to be a jam-packed show. Just so you guys are prepared, Paul is getting back into role-playing games.
Yes.
Not role-playing. He doesn't, that's his personal.
You never know. We don't need to get into my personal life here.
That's right. And his group is going to meet the first Sunday of every month, so we will have different guest hosts. I had Kyle Northrup on Alert 5 ready to come in, but when he heard Paul was available, he's like, "Well, I'll come in when Paul's not going to be there." So
thank you, Kyle.
So this is going to be a huge week. Now, I just want to give a quick update to everybody who listened to me drone on and on about the Kickstarter for 4 weeks. That campaign came to an end on Thursday night, and we're going to call it successful. We had over 1,200 backers and came just shy of $55,000. So $54,920. So I'm very happy. I haven't had a chance to talk to the other folks involved, but I think they're going to be happy. Yeah. I think that's a pretty good number for a graphic novel. Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yep. So thank you all for backing it, for checking it out, for listening to me drone on about it for a month. I have no new Kickstarter coming in the short term, so nothing, I won't be bugging you guys about that. My next big project is I'm going to be crocheting for trying to make a blanket because I don't know.
Because you've been cold lately.
Lisa found this idea of a temperature blanket.
Ah.
Where you basically every day you can do the high or the low and you have color coordinated for a temperature range and you make a blanket out of it. And she loved this idea so much that she told me about it and she told her kids about it. And suddenly it's this big group project and we're all doing one.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm learning how to crochet as we go. So yeah.
Well, hey, it's good to learn things. It keeps your old mind young and nimble.
Yeah. Well, I figured I've got a ton of audiobooks that I haven't had a chance to listen to. So I figured I'll just fire up an audiobook and, start crocheting and go from there.
There you go. I noticed that now that I no longer have my commute, like half hour each way every day, I'm behind on all my podcasts. Because, when you're doing stuff around the house, you're usually like, focusing your attention a little bit, and certainly if you're watching something on television. And I don't know about you, can you write while listening to stuff like that?
I can't write listening to podcasts. I used to be able to write listening to music with lyrics. I wrote an entire Western screenplay to Iron Maiden songs.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But now I find it's better if I use just instrumental stuff.
Yeah. I can listen to lyrics if it's something I know so well.
Yes.
That the lyrics just, are part of the sound.
Yep.
People are like, especially my artist friends are like, I'm blowing through these 30 podcasts while I'm doing my artwork, or I'm talking on the phone while I'm drawing a page. And I'm like, I hate you so much.
Oh yeah. If I'm like editing photos or doing graphic work or stuff like that, oh yeah, I can listen to anything. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But writing, I gotta, put that out of it. So
yeah, it's as I say, if I'm listening to anything else, I can't hear the voices in my head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, we have lots to cover tonight. So let's see, where should we start? Let's start with Vox Machina.
Okay.
Yeah. We got 3 more episodes of The Legend of Vox Machina. I hadn't seen the first 3 when we did the show last week, so I let Paul do the talking on that.
And
But
talking and
yeah,
talking.
but I am familiar with. I have watched Critical Role. I didn't really watch much of the first season, which is what this is based on.
Right.
But the episode that got me into it was The Search for Grog, which was an add-on live event they did with these characters, or most of the characters. There's a character that passes away in the actual campaign, so near the end, so he wasn't able to be in the finale, or in the special. But yeah, it was really a lot of fun. If you get a chance to, if you want to check out Critical Role, I do recommend that particular one because it's self-contained. It's in front of a live audience, so you get a lot of the extra jokes and the humor, which is part of what makes them really spectacular, really a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So
now, for you, did you find that you have been enjoying this like second storyline more than the kind of the 2-episode pilot?
I don't know if I'd say more. Because I do kind of look at them as, I know it's a second story arc, but they're definitely going more in depth into the characters, where the first one really was an introductory 2-part story.
Right.
But it was a pilot, you kind of need that stuff. So I look at it as a series, and that being the pilot episode, and then this being the big story arc. I don't know how long how much of it the Briarwood takes up.
Mm-hmm.
But it is 12 episodes. And I do love the fact that they're dropping these 3 at a time.
That threw me off, because like when I went to watch it, I thought, oh well, there'll be another episode, and it's like, nope. Because I usually, they'll drop 3 and then go one at a time thereafter. You never know what streamers are going to do, though.
Yeah, true. Did you know, and this is a little off topic, but today is the 10th anniversary of the first original programming season dropped on Netflix that kind of started the whole binging thing. And for an extra point, do you know what that show was?
House of Cards? Was that a Netflix?
Yeah, yes, that was a Netflix. That was the first original programming they greenlit. But when that came out, there was this show already having been filmed called Lilyhammer. Stevie Van Zandt, and Van Zandt immediately called up or got a hold of Ted Sarandos over at Netflix and goes, "Hey, you're doing original programming. We've got this little Norwegian show that we'd love you to take a look at." They go, "Oh," he goes, "Okay, send me the scripts." He goes, "Scripts? I can send you the whole season," because it was already done.
Yeah.
So he sends it over. They loved it, bought it immediately, and the show debuted on Norwegian television on January 25th of 2012, and then on Netflix on February 6th, 2012, 10 years ago. So it was their first original programming to air. And it was dropped in a full season, which was basically the first ever show that we could binge watch.
I find that fascinating, because that was like Lilyhammer was the show that people were all like, "Ooh, this is the bingeable aspect." I think caught a lot of people. I've still to this day have never seen any of the Lilyhammers.
Neither have I. And I like Stevie Van Zandt, both as a musician and from his role on The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they wrote that show for him. Basically, they saw him on The Sopranos and went, "We can do something with this guy." So,
but he wasn't actually Lilyhammer, was he?
Lilyhammer's a place?
Oh, I just assumed it was I thought it was because because there's like, wait, what am I? Maybe I'm thinking of a different one, because I swear there's like a young Lillehammer.
No.
What the hell is my?
I don't know, but yeah, Lillehammer is a place in Norway. We had the Olympic events there one time.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I always thought it sounded familiar, but
yeah. So there's a big debate right now whether shows should be dropped as an entire season or weekly, or like Vox Machina in this. And what's funny is we've got 4 shows we're talking about this week, all on streaming services. One that got dropped one at a time. Another that got dropped. I mean, they're doing like the bulk early drop and then one at a time. And then we get the 3 at a time. Over 4 weeks, and then we get the all at once. And the advantage to the viewer, at least in my opinion, when you get the all at once, is you get to do the entire story. You get to binge it, which is cool. But you lose that long life that comes with a show like Book of Boba Fett or Peacemaker. We've been talking about it for weeks now.
Yeah.
Okay. Reacher dropped on Friday or Thursday night, Friday morning. We're talking about it this weekend. By next week, we'll be talking about something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I don't know. I may still be talking about Reacher.
It's a good show.
I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
By the way, I was thinking of Wallander.
Wallander. I liked Wallander. Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah, but that's one where they've done multiple.
Yeah. Actually, Wallander is how Kenneth Branagh knows Tom Hiddleston, and is why he invited him to try out to play Thor, and that which led to him being Loki.
Interesting.
Yep, they met there, and then they did a play together. And Branagh, or was they doing the play together, or was Kenneth just visiting? Either way, he was basically got the thing about it and was talking to Tom at this play, going, hey, you should come audition for this.
Yeah.
But they met on Wallander.
Interesting. So I feel a little bit better, because Wallander was also another one where people were like, oh, have you seen this one yet? Have you seen that one yet? But
I love those European cop shows like Wallander, Wire in the Blood, Jack something or other, with the guy from Game of Thrones, Sir whatever his name is, who
Batman.
Yes,
from Titans.
Yes, Batman from Titans. Ian
Glenn?
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he plays this ex-cop who still wears his police jacket, and he's a detective, and he is fantastic in those.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, for anytime you want to do a European cop detective show, you just make him have a drinking problem, have him be really bad with authority, and probably divorced with a kid who's hate him for being divorced. Then you've got your British show right there.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's also many, very popular American crime shows also follow that formula, but they're tend to be series and much more decompressed.
Yes. Yeah. So, all right, we're way off of Vox Machina.
Yes.
I'm enjoying the Briarwood thing quite a bit, because I think it's where the first 2 episodes were very quick, introduce all the characters, get them set up.
Right.
They're definitely slowed down the pacing on these next, and you can tell that they kind of kept adding as the Kickstarter got bigger. They went, oh, we can do this. Oh, we can do this. Where they went from basically it was going to be a 1-hour special to 12 episodes. So that's pretty amazing there. But I know the Briarwood was the first stretch goal, that if they got to a certain point, they would do the Briarwood saga. And I didn't know what that was. And I didn't realize that was basically this vampire couple, and so tied to Percy's origin or his backstory. I do like the fact that Pike gets a side quest because when you watch the show, Ashley Johnson is someone who has to leave and go because she was doing Blind Spot.
Right.
So she'd be gone for weeks at a time, and then her character would suddenly pop back up again. So they're following the fact that she was gone during part of it, and had her character go do a side quest.
Well, plus one thing that you really don't it's really inconvenient when you're doing a vampire thing is like a full-fledged, full-on
priest.
Yeah. That's just kind of, so it works out nicely in the storyline.
Yep. I do love the fact that they go and they buy all that stuff from that guy's is it Gilbert or whatever?
Yes.
Gilroy's Glorious Goods. And then they all just lose it. It just goes right over the edge.
Yeah.
Oh no, the holy water.
Yeah. Isn't that the way it always goes though?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Especially sometimes it's your DM being clever and making you think of ways around it. Other times it's your GM's a dick.
And sometimes it's just your bad rolling.
Well,
and your DM goes, you literally rolled a 1 on picking up a bag.
Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm very interested in the whole mask aspect of Percy.
Yeah.
Like because I'm not familiar with the show all that much.
Yeah.
So it's like it has a very superhero / mask vigilante, aspect.
Yeah,
so,
I think I'm enjoying this. It also has a lot of Plague Mask feel to it.
Oh yes, well
It's
but
I think I'm enjoying it because I know the characters tangentially.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know these stories, so I'm getting to enjoy them. Where it's like, oh my god, this is Percy. I know Percy from the one episode, but Taliesin Jaffe plays a completely different character, as in tone and everything. In the second campaign, he plays 2 different characters. And then and in the new thing, he's another completely different character. So he's really got range and stuff. But
that's one of the things that I like about the show is these are skilled actors, and in particular skilled voice actors, which is not always the same thing.
Yeah. What's funny is that most of these, when they do their voices, I could pick out who they are.
Yeah.
I forget that Taliesin Jaffe is doing the voice of Percy because it's such a different voice than I'm used to hearing him for Mollymock, which is one of the characters he does in campaign 2.
Yeah.
I cannot remember the second character he plays. But yeah, he plays all these different types of characters. So it's fascinating to me because I can't really pick his. Even when Matt Mercer pops up with a voice, I can usually pick him out.
Yeah.
But I keep forgetting that it's Taliesin Jaffe. So
yeah. But so are you getting the vibes of the show off of the vibes of the actual play show off of the cartoon?
I am, because there's a lot of things that they're putting in, a lot of little extra things, Easter eggs to later in the campaign or into the other campaigns, which I find interesting. When they go to Gilroy's Glorious Goods in the second episode, first or second episode, when they go to find out about the dragon,
right?
At one point, Pike walks by a book called Tusk Love. And Tusk Love is a book that they bring up in campaign 2 that is a thing between Laura Bailey and Travis Willingham's characters. Laura Bailey has this crush on Travis's character, and they're married in real life, so this makes sense. But, and it's this trashy romance novel, but the characters on the cover look like their characters in campaign 2. of Ford, and I'm just horrible with names, the character names, but yeah, it's.
Well, I'm going to pull up the something so that we can, I can at least feed you.
Yeah.
Feed
But
you.
yeah, it's Ford and yeah. And Ford, of course, the guy that plays Ford, Travis Willingham, plays Grog in the first scene in this campaign, and Laura Bailey plays not Vex, the hunter, Vex, the hunter. Yeah, so yeah, it's pretty interesting. That I am really enjoying it, and it was fun watching them today, and I didn't feel pressure that I have to watch them super closely. I just kind of relaxed and watched the shows, and I really liked it.
So. Yeah, I feel like, although there's still some of it, it felt like less splatter gore to me in the second episode. It's sort of I just as I went with the second aspect of the storyline, it felt I felt I liked it more. It just didn't that I mean, it's still way over the top.
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe because they have a little more space in this arc that they're doing, that that's they're not kind of, it's not all a sea of blood throughout.
Well, you can't do a show with Scanlan and not be over the top.
Well, fair enough.
Yeah.
So yeah. I can't. Yeah, and I can never remember now. Okay, there. I was trying to. I was trying to figure out. That Pike and Scanlan are both gnomes.
Yes.
And I was wondering if one was I thought Scanlan I knew was a gnome, but I was wondering if Pike was a halfling. Because what's her, with her last name is Trickfoot. That sounds sort of like a halfling name.
Yeah.
So I was like, wait, which one is the gnome again? Both. But yeah, it's interesting to watch the interplay of the relationships, the brother and sister, and then Pike and Grog.
Yeah.
Very much not kind of an unexpected partnership.
A bit of mice and men going on there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, she accidentally calls, or she accidentally calls him Lenny. We'll go.
Yeah. Or at some point he's just petting bunnies,
Yeah.
So all right. So we're halfway through Vox Machina. We're into the Briarwood storyline. Like I said, I don't know how much the Briarwood storyline covers, but we got 6 more episodes, and I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of them.
Yeah. I'm definitely looking forward to it more than after the first 2.
Yeah. And the fact that we're going to be losing Book of Boba Fett after next week, it'll be nice to have those to talk about for at least 2 more weeks.
It will indeed. I was looking the other day to see if I had somehow missed something coming up for Book of Boba, like after Book of Boba Fett on Disney.
Nope.
And it doesn't look like anything. So
no, it looks like Moon Knight's the end of March, and then possibly Kenobi in May.
Yeah.
But we're going to have about 6-7 weeks with nothing,
or as it may be called, Kenobalorian.
Yes. Episode 4 of Kenobi, starring Pedro Pascal and Mark Hamill.
Yeah, I Yeah, that I was a little surprised to find out. Oh well, sorry, we're
No,
still
no.
on Vox Machina.
I think we're naturally segueing into
Into
Book of Boba Fett. So let's go
with,
ahead and
with
run with that.
with Hamill not even doing the voice
Right.
weirds me out. I mean, you know what it reminds me of is American Flag, the Howard Chaykin book, where the guy becomes a Plexus Ranger law enforcer because he's been replaced by a 3D animation of so they don't need him anymore.
Right.
Um,
God, that's
and
an old
yeah,
storyline now.
it feels like it feels like Hamill should at least, since they chopped up his voice to do it, he
Yeah.
should get some kind of a recompense. I don't know whether that's happening or not, but
Yeah, I'm not sure how all that works and legally and how the Screen Actors Guild's going to look at that.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
but I look at, there was it there was a thing that had a 1950s version of Batman with like Gregory Peck as Batman and
Hmm.
all of these actors from that era. And I'm thinking, we could probably do that now,
Yeah, yeah.
and how scary is that?
Well, as somebody pointed out, if you can get enough sound clips and feed them through this AI, you could do deep fake
Yeah.
historical quotes. Oh, do you remember when JFK said, "Man, I can't stand being a Democrat." You know,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna like, and how does it come out in terms of voice stress analysis and all the different things that they use to prove and disprove stuff like that?
We are rushing towards a very gray area.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
And
think
you
we're
know
about
what?
I think we're
They,
about knee deep right now.
yeah. And they had to spend a good amount of money to make that happen. And I'm trying to figure out why. Why is that in the Book of Boba Fett?
Yeah, well, especially when Mark Hamill's still around, and I'm pretty sure voice actor, he could probably imitate his younger self.
Yeah. Or just do it and you up the pitch and speed it up a little bit and you get a younger version,
Yeah,
which is how they did it for the season finale last year.
yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, but let's go to the fact that Boba Fett had a cameo in his own show.
Did he? I'm trying to remember. Did he even say anything?
He didn't.
I,
Garza Fwip had more dialogue in the last two episodes than he
then,
did.
yeah. I wonder if it was something like Tamora Morrison was sick or something, or I,
Well,
and
you don't just make up two episodes of The Mandalorian.
well, no, but as far as like maybe cutting part of his
Yeah.
appearance, they might have rewritten to account for him.
I don't
It
think
was
they did. I think this is what the plan was.
I can't argue with that. It just it makes me crazy.
Yeah. From a
It,
fan point of view, I'm just eating this up because
sure,
we got a full episode of more about the Mandalorian and the Night of Tears and the Dark Saber and the Armorer and Paz Vizsla. And we got a new ship and all of this great stuff. And then I sit back and I go, but this is Book of Boba Fett, and we got no Boba Fett other than Fennec Shan showing up. So we get a second episode. I'm thinking, okay, we have this is the penultimate episode.
yes, there's got to be
Yeah.
a lot of interaction here.
And we spent half of our time
Yeah,
on a planet we don't get named, following Grogu and Luke Skywalker running around. And they give us the whole Jedi training montage. Why?
which we've seen.
Yeah.
I mean, because they really definitely were like, "Hey, let's kind of do the Luke training montage, except on a bamboo planet instead of a
Yeah.
swamp planet."
Yeah. I
Uh,
mean, we got all that same stuff. And oh, hey, Luke could tell Mando about all this stuff, but let's bring Ahsoka Tano in instead because we need another character to show up.
I do kind of like the fact that it allowed Grogu and Luke to be off
Mm-hmm.
and but yeah, it is. I know it all works this way, but having Ahsoka saying stuff like, "Oh, I'm an old family friend," and you really remind me of your father,
Yeah.
is like bending my brain.
Oh yeah. No. See, that's the thing. This is Dave Filoni just having all his toys out of the toy box.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'll put this in and I'll put that in, I'll put that in. And oh, we need a gunslinger? Have I got somebody? Hang on.
Yeah.
And it's
Which
like
boy, it finally occurred to me that it's not so much that that Oliphant is playing Cobb Vanth like Raylan Givens, as that both those characters draw from the same mythology, and so, but because they're not the same,
right.
but yeah, when it's like, you may not know this, but I'm the marshal around these parts, and what and I tell people what to do, all that stuff, and picking off the three pikes.
Yep.
Before, yeah. There's certainly a commonality between those characters, but I give him points though, because he doesn't feel 100% Raylan.
No, and he's not the character from Deadwood either, but close.
Yeah.
So Timothy Oliphant has a type.
Sure, but I do think that he's got I do think he's got he does try, and he pushes the edges around, shifts things.
I'm fairly sure that this conversation has happened more than once in Hollywood. Hey, for that Marshall character, we should get somebody like Timothy Oliphant. You know what he did in Deadwood? Why don't we just get Timothy Oliphant?
And then, I'm sure he wouldn't want to do the same, that same thing yet. And he's like,
oh no, he likes paychecks a lot.
Yeah. Well, plus, I'm sure he would look at it as, well, I'm not sure, but my thought is he probably looks at it as, if you play a cop in two things, doesn't mean that it's the same cop.
Yeah.
There are nuances to characters.
Yeah, I don't remember the number anymore, but if you look up Dennis Franz, he's played like 60 different police officers.
Did they count the security guy or the airport police in Die Hard 2?
I think they did.
But yeah, I loved. I thought it was interesting, by the way. I was watching the end credits on Book of Boba Fett, and they showed the Pike in something a little closer to an air barge. It wasn't, or a sand barge, whatever the heck they called it. But I think what they did was just they probably looked at it and went, "Hey, we've just blown our budget on an AI to make Luke Skywalker talk. Why don't we reuse that like speeder sedan and just change it up a little?"
Yeah, we'll put them out by some moisture evaporators, and we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just a very good. I thought it was a great episode, except that when you stop and think, but it's the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, we just watched another episode of Mandalorian. The only thing they did that was Book of Boba Fett was the scene from Untouchables with the briefcase. They walk in, they leave the Cantano and then leave, and they blow up the sanctuary.
Yes. Speaking of which, so do we think that Garza Whip is still around, or that?
No, I think she's dead.
She seemed awfully close.
All I know is that Jennifer Beals has joined Law and Order Organized Crime. So I think she's dead.
Yeah. Could be.
Yep.
Well, hey, you could just, we could do a new show called The Book of Garza Whip, and it's just her flashing back to things in a Bacta tank because she was horribly, horribly burned. You wouldn't even need Jennifer Beals.
Would she dance in the flashbacks?
That's a good. What a feeling.
Yes. I had to get there before you did.
Yeah. Dan, you are a maniac. Pittsburgh.
Just once wanted her to come in with the knee-high socks on, and
but the sweater or sweatshirt she can't get to stay on both shoulders.
Even a bigger moment: the major domo of the mayor had more dialogue
than Boba Fett.
Did in the last 2 episodes,
and which consisted of, oh, actually, that was a scheduled vacation. Yeah, it's just.
And nice glare from the Grammorian Guard.
Yeah.
Like, shut up. That's the most emotion I've seen from a Grammorian Guard ever.
Yeah.
That glare was great. But you've got Kerry Jones all dressed up as a Black Chrysanthemum, and he just stands there for 10 seconds. That's a lot of makeup to stand there for 10 seconds.
Well, he turned his head a couple of times.
Yeah, I wonder if they filmed that like while they were doing other things.
You would hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very mixed about this. The Star Wars fan in me loves this because we're getting all of this stuff that's really cool. We got Cad Bane, for God's sakes. We had a shootout between Bane and Cobb Vanth, and Vanth doesn't appear to be dead. So we're going to get a rematch, but
yeah,
that was awesome. But at the same time, you're like, whose show is this again?
Yeah. I mean, it really, and it's, again, exactly as you say. As a fan, I'm digging it. It's great. We're seeing all sorts of cool stuff, but there's still that like, but wait.
Yep.
And boy, if the Tuskens do not show up in the finale, I don't, because then it's like, oh, so all that stuff was completely pointless. All the flashbacks would then be completely pointless. I hope you're correct that the dark garbed
the female Tusken,
shows up and with a.
I hope so.
Sort of like Tars Tarkas with the showing up to support John Carter.
Yeah. I don't know how they're going to pull this off, but I'm hoping they do. That we get a really satisfying ending. But this is, from a writer standpoint, it just hurts. Some of the things they're doing is just so off that you don't. I mean, how do they approve some of this?
Well, you also have to keep in mind that as much as the people in charge of this have done some great stuff, this is the same overall organization that went, oh, sure, we'll go into the final trilogy of the Skywalker saga with no plan.
True. I am wondering, and I don't have enough time to do this, but I think somebody out there probably does.
Mm-hmm.
I think Pedro Pascal has had more screen time in Armor in this series than Tamora Morrison has in Armor.
Probably.
Yeah, because most of the time we see him was without his armor, so there's very little,
or at least without his helmet.
Yeah.
So I did see a very funny meme. It's the Mandalorian talking to Boba Fett, and it's like, so, then she said, "I'm not a Mandalorian anymore." That sucks. And Boba's like, "You've got the dark blade. Tell her she's not a Mandalorian anymore."
I think I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just again, I'm just kind of stunned at how little development there's been in 2 episodes of the actual storyline.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like I said, other than okay, we've established Cobb Vanth again, and we've established Cad Bane, so they'll be in the finale, and we blew up the bar. But are Luke and Grogu going to be in the finale?
It could be if Luke brings Grogu back.
Yeah,
Or
but
maybe Luke asks Ahsoka to bring Grogu back.
yeah, and it would make more sense if it's Ahsoka, because I don't know how much Ahsoka has had dealing with Boba Fett. But do you think Luke is going to do something to help Boba Fett?
That's a good point. He
So
did.
on his home
In
planet?
case his best friend, his brother-in-law, rather,
Yeah,
did
yeah.
in case his brother-in-law in carbonite.
Uh
Um, then again, Luke was all, "Oh, my dad, killer of planets, can be redeemed." So maybe
huh.
he still believes in redemption for all.
Maybe it just seems kind of odd, but I am all for the finale, and I can't wait to see it and to
Yeah.
see how they're going to put all these pieces together. And in Favreau, we trust. But I do think that Dave Filoni is maybe sacrificing a bit of story to get some characters introduced that we could wait on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's
I'm
like,
yeah, I'm just very I'm really hoping it all comes together. I mean, these are really talented people, and
yeah.
I'm really hoping it all comes together. But man,
Well,
I
at
don't
this
know.
point, Cad Payne is pretty much the kingpin from the Hawkeye series, which is, he gets introduced in the penultimate episode at the very end, and then you know he's going to be the big bad for the finale. Why didn't you introduce him a long ass time ago?
Oh, but because he's a crony. Um. Oh, now
It's like,
see, by the way, I just looked. I know it's not like gospel, but the Book of Boba Fett listing on IMDb for Chapter 7 is a 38-minute runtime. Like I thought maybe they would blow it out to an hour, full hour or something.
yeah, they never do. We always think they're going to on all of these shows, whether it's Mandalorian or, oh, they've got so much they have to wrap up. I don't know how. It's got to be like a double length episode, and I hear that every one of these series, and they never are.
Well, but like Cap and the Falcon or Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they stretched a couple episodes out,
Yeah,
like by a
by
few
a
minutes.
little.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but this one seems like it's going to be shorter if
Yep.
that's runtime is correct. Of
Yeah.
course, we'll probably have some end of, uh, end credit
Yeah.
sequences to set up for whatever's coming next.
Yeah. Unless this is like the first of 2 parts. We get this and Boba gets killed, and suddenly we see a trailer for the Book of Fennec Shan coming in June.
There you go. Hey, I'm all for that. But yeah, it's just I keep going back to what you said. It's like he didn't have a single line in the penultimate episode.
In 2
Nothing.
episodes. Yeah, 2 episodes in a row. So basically, he's the first 4 episodes, and then we're going to go over and spend some time with the Mandalorian. We'll be back.
Yeah. Well, but it does remind me of how I felt like when the Mandalorian ended, and they're like, "And next, the Book of Boba Fett." I'm like, "Wait, I want more Mandalorian."
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
also kind of like, but not like this,
yeah.
because like as a friend of mine was saying, all the people who are like, I didn't care about to watch the Book of Boba Fett, if they start in on Mandalorian season 3, are going to be like, what? What? Where? Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the fifth episode was basically Mandalorian chapter 17. I'm not even sure what to call this last one because it was so much Luke and Grogu and so much Cobb Vanth.
And
It's like,
Grook is his their couple name.
oh, Groot. Okay. So,
Yes, in fact, I now expect the little puppet to go, I am Grook.
All righty. So, do you think they're going to be able to wrap all this up, or do you think that we're going to end up just teaser into Mandalorian season 3,
or Jedi Academy season 1?
Will we get a satisfactory ending?
I want to say yes, but here's the thing with a lot of these Disney Plus shows. I'm like, there's no way they're going to give me a satisfactory ending at this point. And then they do.
Yes.
So I hate to bet against them on that. But yeah, there's a certain amount of just like, how?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I see this one, and it just blows my mind that we're. I really doubt they can finish up the Pike Syndicate storyline in one episode. Again, I've thought that on just about every one of these Disney Plus shows, except for Turner and Hooch. That one had a clean ending, but it's just become my punchline at this point.
I was trying to figure out which show you were calling Turner and Hooch. And then I realized, oh no, they did a Turner and Hooch.
They did a real Turner and Hooch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There's so many questions. Like, are they going to tell it? Are we going to see Grogu's choice, his lone wolf and cub choice, or are we going to carry that over to Mandalorian? I would like them to carry that over to Mandalorian. I'd like to leave that out there, because right now it feels like, well, he's going to pick the armor and they're going to drop him off, and then season 3 will start with them together again. But I kind of would like season 3 to be him going after, Mandalore, and we can do the whole Jedi Academy with Luke, and just have a split story going for a season. I'd be fine with that. But that, and then, does Boba and the Pike Syndicate, does that get wrapped up? What's going on with Cobb Vanth now? Plus, Din just got a sports car. He's not ready to have a kid again. He's not ready to go back to the minivan. He hasn't even found one yet.
Yeah.
He just got his Corvette.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I love that we're both right on that. Corvette.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as much as I have faith in Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni and Robert Rodriguez and all the people involved in this, that they're going to wrap this thing up in some way, and that it may not be the way we expect, but
maybe a satisfying conclusion to the show, but not wrapping up all the threads. Yeah.
Yep. So,
well, that's assuming there isn't another Book of Boba Fett season coming at some point.
Right. Yeah. And they might, because, this one's popular. But then you've got other questions too, like, well, Cad Bane has history with both Fennec Shand and Boba Fett. Will that be addressed in the show? And again, how do you address that in one episode? That's the finale of trying to wrap all this up. And will they answer the question of, did the biker gang kill the Tuskens, or did someone else do it to make it look like the biker gang? Was it Cad Bane?
Yeah.
Did he? So there's just so much going on.
Yeah. Or was it the biker gang under the instruction or at the behest of the Pike Syndicate?
Yeah. There's just so much crap going on. And they spent the last 2 episodes giving us so much, but it's like, why are you giving us dessert now when you haven't finished giving us dinner?
We can't have any pudding if we don't eat our meat.
Yeah, exactly. I knew you were going to go there.
Sorry, it was really a lob.
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah, I mean, but the Pike Syndicate sent the bikers, or was it the bikers at all? The Pike Syndicate could have sent Cad Bane with his ship and just blast through them how Boba blasts through the biker gang.
Yeah, and then dropped biker parts, or I actually were there even any biker? Were there any?
No, they just made some symbols on there.
Yeah.
He could have sent out little Toto if he still has that robot to do that. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. But all right, let's move on to show number 3. Let's talk about Peacemaker.
There were some kind of, interesting revelations, and the one thing that really I like I like the way Odebayo reacted to Myrn.
Yeah.
And the fact that, and then there was that moment where she and we are like, oh crap, is Harcourt also a butterfly?
Yeah.
And and the fact that they just started talking about a cow and everybody was, what cow? Huh?
Yeah. Or Economos' reaction, la 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 la. I didn't hear you.
oh, you meant it. He actually puts his fingers in his ears.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that one is, that Peacemaker seems to be moving along at a fair clip and hewing close to the story. It was interesting to see Robert Patrick get into his supervillain costume.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And all the clan member, I don't know if they're clan, but yeah.
The dragon, whatever.
Yeah. And what's funny is this is the opposite of Book of Boba Fett. It seems like everything is going to hit the fan this next episode, and there's one after that.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, we got you. We got plenty of time to finish this up. We got the daddy issues to take care of. We got, the cops are now all butterflies. We got you covered. We're good.
I thought that, oh shoot, the sidekick cop, played Archie's dad recently and has been in everything.
Oh, Lachlan Monroe is his real name.
And every time I see his name, I think it's a character name.
Yeah.
It's such a character name.
Yes.
But yes, Lachlan Monroe, like I thought he was going to get away and then end up, with the team going, this just happened. And then it's like, oh no.
Yep.
No one gets away.
Oh yeah. Fitzgibbons get it. Captain Locke gets it. Who was creepy enough in the episode.
Well, that was the thing. I mean, I was like, well, he's already got something going on. And then, but it's like, oh, nope. He was just creepy as a person.
Yes, he was.
And that's another actor. I can never remember his name, but he's in so much stuff. And he's very good.
Christopher Heyerdahl.
Yeah. I think I first saw him in something, one of the Stargates, maybe Atlantis, but he was in Hell on Wheels as a preacher, and he's been very good. He was in the TV show Sanctuary, starred oh come on, now I'm gonna forget her name too. This is really bad. Captain Carter from SG-1. Amanda.
Captain Carter from SG-1. He was Bigfoot in Sanctuary.
Sanctuary, yes. What is her name?
And he was on Caprica. Supernatural, Stargate Atlantis. He was Smallville as Zor-El.
Yeah.
He was on the Human Target episode.
Amanda Tapping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he's been in a ton of stuff.
He was on Gotham. He was on Minority Report, Hell on Wheels, as the Swede.
The Swede.
He was in Tin Star and Damnation, Deadly Class, Pure, Them, Van Helsing as Sam. Yeah, the guy does a lot.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of surprised he wasn't in Reacher. Just because, boy, was that a Canadian cast.
Oh, you mean half all the Smallville connections?
Yes. for lovers and dreamers and me. Yeah, it was just,
Did you say
and it's so
femurs or
bad.
dreamers?
Huh?
Did you say femurs or dreamers?
Dreamers.
It sounded like you said femurs.
Yes, femurs. But yes, I'm sad because Kristen Crook is
Save Reacher. We're talking Peacemaker.
Sorry, jumped. Just It's all stream of consciousness now.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna give Reacher a good amount of time because it's the only time we're going to talk about it, probably. So
true. But so what was your favorite bit of the episode?
Wow. There was just so much interesting in it that John Economos always gets me to laugh.
Yeah.
But for me, I think the moment that shocked me the most was John Cena playing Home Sweet Home on the piano.
Yeah.
Because that's really John Cena playing Home Sweet Home on the piano. It's not a dubbed, switching the guy. And you can't double those hands that he's got.
Yeah. Yeah. That was that was kind of like, whoa. But it kind of threw me out of the thing a little bit because I was more like, whoa, John Cena plays the piano.
I know.
But what I was pretty I think my favorite part might have been Eagly kicking ass.
Oh my God, yes, Eagly.
But then, I'm going, oh, this is cool. The Eagles kicking ass, taking names. Oh my God, he took some eyes out.
Yes.
That was okay. Oh, that was more than I'm like, yeah, Eagly. Yeah, Eagly. Oh, Eagly, no.
And I love how Vigilante was ready to kill. It's like, no, we don't kill cops. And it's like, you realize that John Cena's character has actually had a growth arc.
Yeah.
In this. And you look at him going, wait a minute, he's becoming a decent character. How the hell did that happen?
Yeah.
I'm really surprised. What a good show this is.
I don't want to kill people anymore. What?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
yeah. I mean, I'll mess up aliens, but yeah.
Yeah. What did you? I was glad to see our custodial friend back.
Yes.
For the show and tell. Chubster.
Gender swapped Alfred E. Newman.
Yeah.
Urkel. It's like.
And I love how they're just all like,
okay.
You're not. Oh, you like the Flash, huh? Well, because I get the feeling that Peacemaker has never met any of these people that he's bad mouthing.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. The show is really brilliant. It really is.
The kid coming back with, why don't you have a coterie of villains? It's like, what does this town have, a thesaurus with one word in it?
Do you have an origin story? Flashback.
No, not a traditional one. Yeah.
Yeah, I killed my brother.
Yeah. Oops. Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that we're already going to get him showing down with his dad, and all the police force are the butterflies now. Yeah. And again, we still got 2 episodes left. That blows my mind because that seems like we're perfectly set up for a big finale.
Yeah.
I don't know. James Gunn should do a Star Wars thing. Tag and Bink. Or whatever it is.
I was going to say, didn't he already? Wasn't that what Guardians of the Galaxy was?
Yeah, in a way, it probably was. Yeah,
but
all right.
Yeah.
So, anything you're still hoping to see on Peacemaker?
I don't think it'll happen, and because I don't, they're pulling a very tight cross section of characters, but they've already got Judo Master on there.
Yeah.
I know there's only 2 episodes left, but I would kind of like to see Nightshade show up.
I've wanted more Charlton characters since this started, and they had Judo Master.
Yeah.
Captain Adam would be cool. Somebody like that. The Question.
Sarge Steele.
Sarge Steele, yeah.
And now I think the Question is, pardon me, my pun, out of the question, because there's keep being rumors about them giving he or she, depending on whether it's Vic or Renee, a show, which God, I would love to see.
Oh, yeah.
My first handle on AOL was Question and some set of numbers, which I don't repeat because it was my birth year.
1902.
Yeah. And I don't want people to know just how old I really am.
Oh, we got to go back to Tag and Bink eventually. I mean, those are classics, man. Tag and Binks, or let them do the story of, was it Jaxer the rabbit, or the
Jackson?
Jackson. Yeah, give James Gunn Jackson. Let him just do whatever the hell he wants with it.
Yeah.
So
there we go. Actually, that whole Seven Samurai team that where Jackson first appeared with what was his name? Obi-Wan Quixote. Who was, I'm a Jedi, and they're all like, I'm pretty sure not a Jedi. It's like, yeah, I am. I got a lightsaber and some armor and stuff. But what was it? 7 for some? I can't remember the comic, but it was very soon after the original Star Wars adaptation happened.
I don't think anybody would disagree with you on this, Andrew.
Oh yeah. It'd be absolutely fantastic. That's why I want to see Vic, because I would like to see that fairly faithfully done. The O'Neill Cohen run was really fantastic.
Absolutely.
Okay,
so that's Peacemaker. We're going to go now into the final.
Oh, you didn't say what you wanted to see for the.
I would like to see a big cameo, a surprise cameo, whether it's another member of the Suicide Squad, some recognizable character. I would just like to see one big cameo, just to kind of solidify its place in the DCEU. So that's what I'd like, because I think they really gave James Gunn carte blanche, but he's throwing all of these obscure characters out there. Batmite, Matter Eater Lad. I would just love for him to have one established character to solidify the show. You know, Henry Cavill showing up as Superman.
Yeah.
Showing
Harley showing up.
Harley. Well, I would love for Henry Cavill to show up at the end after everything's done and kind of look around and go, "Oh, you got this covered," and take off. Just something that silly I think would be awesome. So, all right.
Yep. That leaves us.
Yeah. One more. Which might be my favorite show of the week. Which is saying a lot, because I really liked the Peacemaker episode. I did enjoy Vox Machina, and I enjoyed Book of Boba Fett. But
same.
Yeah.
But
I didn't plan on binging Reacher. I couldn't sleep. I turned on an episode, thought, well, it's midnight, it just dropped. I'll watch an episode. And then I watched 2. And someone online said, "Yeah, what do you think?" And I went, "Well, but I'll watch the rest after I get some sleep." He goes, No. You keep watching. You can sleep after episode 8. And I'm like, no, I'm going to go to sleep. And then the 3rd one rolled, and then the 4th one rolled, and the 5th one, and the 6th one, and the 7th one, and then the sun came up, and the 8th one finished. And I wrote back, yep, turns out that's exactly what I did.
And I don't want to take shots at Cruise. Cruise got the Reacher movies, the Jack Reacher movie made.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is the point that Lee Child made, was that probably wouldn't have gotten made without Cruise pulling it through.
Yeah.
But
if you're not familiar with the books, they're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the movies. I mean, they're not bad.
Yeah, but it's sort of like casting Tom Cruise as Conan.
Right.
Right. Because that's an aspect of the character.
Yeah. But again, that's only an aspect of the character if you know who Conan is.
Sure. And now they had to get a big guy in the 2012 Conan, because the Schwarzenegger Conan is still familiar to people.
Well, yeah, they got Jason Momoa.
Yeah. Boy, I really wish. Anyway, not going to get into that.
Okay.
But once, for the Reacher fans out there who have read all the books and everything, seeing Alan Rickman in that role, just and I heard some people complaining that he doesn't have like the charm to be a star or something. I'm like, well, I don't know about that, but he certainly was Jack Reacher. And I love that they kept in the parts where people assume Reacher is a big dumb thug, and Reacher is fucking smart.
Yes. Also, what I liked is at moments that something Cruise didn't do is that Reacher is very practical. There's the scene where the two South American hitters are following him, and he jumps out of the car, comes up behind them, and shoots them both in the back.
Yeah.
And his attitude is, I had a chance to take out two guys that were going to kill me. I didn't wait till they turned around. I took them out. And
that's kind of that's one of the reasons why I actually think of Reacher as Conan in the modern age. Yes, he has a personal code, but being stupid isn't, like, it's not, I am a knight with chivalry, blah, blah, blah. It's, no, these guys need to be taken out, and it's stupid for, excuse me, gentlemen, turn around so we can have a fair shootout, would never occur to him.
Yeah. Now, there is some aspect of coincidentality.
Yeah.
Things that they just kind of go, it moves the plot forward. It's like, it just so happens that it's Jack's brother that's killed.
Sort of, except it's not. Like, there, and I think the book might have gotten this a little bit clearer.
Yes, it does.
Because it kind of, there's so much happening that it kind of zooms over it. But the fact that his brother had mentioned the
Blind Blake, that Blind Blake had died in Margrave.
Yeah. And things like that. They didn't make it as clear about how, no, that was sort of like he was setting Reacher up for backup.
Yeah. But they could
go ahead.
No, they could have addressed that a little easier by saying, I hadn't talked to my brother in a long time, but he sent me this note that he had discovered it recently. And now that I'm retired, I thought I'd go there, knowing that that he would get his brother to come there without actually having to say something. But they stress about how it's been so long since they had talked. The fact that Jack just happened to go there right at the right time is the coincidental part.
Sure, but it's sort of also the coincidence of the book too, is that they end up in the same place. but it feels like there's a closer connection in the book than there is in the thing. But most mysteries I allow for like one big coincidental kind of aspect.
Yeah.
Especially if you layer in some stuff that says, well, sort of a coincidence, but not really. But I love how right at the beginning, Reacher gets his pie. The cops start coming. He looks around and goes, "Yep, it's for me."
Yep.
Because he just looked at everyone and went,
He assessed the
well,
situation. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, it's not it's not this person, not that couple, whatever. And that was the thing, is it gave you a setup right at the beginning, a hook right at the beginning to say, this guy is analytical and he's aware of his surrounding, he's analytical, and he's not going to do something stupid like bolt for the back door in the middle of nowhere.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There was some really great stuff they did. And some of those scenes, they even though they weren't adapting Killing Floor with the movie, they did. I thought they did that arrest scene at the diner with Tom Cruise in one of the two films.
Well, and there was also a very similar, and I can't remember which one it was in, but they also did the similar thing with the townies who get paid to rough them up.
Yeah.
But that is the big point. That was the one that was the scene that took me out of the Cruise movie. Mm-hmm. Because when they come up on Alan Richson, and there's four of them, you get why they don't just charge in.
Yeah.
Because this guy's a monster.
Yep.
When Cruise does the, hey, kind of, you should walk away speech, you might go, these guys are a little hesitant because they're like, why is this regular sized guy so confident?
Yeah.
But like when they walk up on the guy who's in real life 6'2", but in the movie they said he is 6'5". And when they walk up on the 6'5" guy with the shoulders out to here, wearing the shit kicker boots, you kind of understand why they're sort of working themselves up.
Yeah. But by the way, there is something to be said, the fact that I'm 6'6", and I watch all the stuff this guy's going through. It's like, when you're this big, you don't think of yourself as being big. You're just average height because this is your height.
Yeah.
Reacher knows he's big, which I find to be kind of an interesting character thing. Because normally whatever size you are feels like average height to people or to you.
Right.
Because it's what you've always been. So you don't think, nobody thinks they're short unless they're in comparison to somebody else. Nobody thinks they're tall unless they're compared to somebody else. So just in your average day thing, this is normal height.
Right. Right. I felt like it was kind of a thing where because of the life he led, Reacher realizes how much bigger he is than most people.
Yeah. And I think they did a really good job filming him to make him look tall.
Yeah.
And casting shorter people around him.
Yeah. But a good solid cast as well.
Yes. I'm not a huge fan of, what's his name? Malcolm Goodwin?
Yeah. You didn't like him in iZombie?
Yeah, he didn't do much for me in iZombie, but I was okay with him here. I really liked Willa Fitzgerald as Roscoe.
Yes.
I loved seeing
Bruce. Know what really kind of threw me out, though?
What?
Bruce McGill.
Yeah. Yes and no. He's good at playing that type of character.
Yeah.
But we know him so well.
Yeah, I'm like half expecting him to play his throat.
Yeah.
Which is probably unfair for him, but
yeah.
But yeah, it's just. And did you love the kingpin stick?
That was funny. I loved that they got what's his name? Is it Harvey Gillian played the
I
mortician?
yeah, Gillum, I think.
Gillen,
Yeah,
Gillen
yeah,
with an N. Yeah, I think he was great in What We Do in the Shadows, and
yeah.
it's like the same character here, you know. But my only complaint, and it's not really much of this, is a show that I don't have a lot of complaints about because I thoroughly enjoyed it. I got into it, really liked the story. I had read the
Mhm.
book. I had seen the Tom Cruise first movie. Then I read Killing Floor. Liked the character in Killing Floor more than I liked, but I than Cruise's portrayal of him. But I liked the Tom Cruise movie, and I liked No Going Back. It was nice to see him carry the character over. But here, it really felt like they were adapting the book, and the closest thing that I could compare it to are other novel adaptations,
Mm-hmm.
where I'm looking at Lost Symbol, which is the TV rendition of the Dan Brown series novel,
Right.
you know, or the Jack Ryan series that Amazon is doing. And
Mm-hmm.
you take the Lost Symbol out of it because that's Peacock. That's not really the budget that Amazon Prime brings.
Yeah.
So now, if you look at Jack Reacher and Jack Ryan, I think both of them have the writing and stuff that's comparable. I think the cast was good, but I think there was obviously more money put into Jack Ryan.
Because there have been so many movies. I
Yes,
think, yeah, because
it's a
that's
more
one of the
popular
things
character. Yeah,
where I kept seeing all these I knew it was shot in Canada because I kept seeing all these Canadian actors.
yeah,
The lady who was the waitress who kept selling him on the peach pie,
uh-huh.
she was in a show called Slings and Arrows that I
Okay,
really liked. The 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 cash guy, the money guy, was Mark Ben David, and he was one of the stars on Dark Matter, the
hmm.
sci-fi Canadian
Yeah,
production. Um, he left fairly early in the series, but yeah, it's like because I'm like, oh, there's that guy. Oh, there's that guy, and it just kept kind of happening where I'm like, and but it didn't. I mean, I that's something that most people might not notice,
hmm.
Uh, um, but yeah, it was just one of those things where I'm like, yeah. So it really did feel like budget was an issue. I think they did a great job with the lower budget.
Yeah. But I'd like to see them give it closer to a Jack Ryan budget and see
Yes,
what they could
bump it
do.
up for season two.
Keep Alan Richson. He's great.
Yeah,
You know, you get a whole new cast because that's how the show works. Other
sure.
than you keep Neely, and then you just go forward and just give him a few better actors. And again, it's not that these actors were bad, but you can bring in some a little bit higher quality ones and just lift the show up a little bit.
Yeah.
But overall, I just the other coincidental thing was that the FBI agent that
Yeah,
the
that
Picard that Finley knew just
right.
happened to be involved. So those are the two coincidental things that kind of bothers me a little bit about the story. But I think they're the exact same way in the book. So it's not
Yeah.
really a
And
critique of this; it's a critique of the
the story in the books, yeah.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
the source material.
yeah,
Is I did like how they did emphasize several times where that Picard is like, told you not to take the job.
yes.
I told you not to take the job. And then
But we
he's
were
like, I
friends.
can't
Yeah, and
believe
I
it's
told.
you. That's why I told you not to take the job.
Yep. Now, what I would love to see, and because they're both Amazon Prime, I could totally see Reacher popping up in a Jack Ryan series. The characters could match up.
Yeah. Let's get season 2 first.
Yeah, but season 3 of Jack Ryan, he needs a specialist to help him out. You call in Reacher, then when it's time to do season 2, you can up the budget a little because you got the profile higher.
Okay. All right.
This is why they should hire me to do these shows.
Sure. Well, maybe
Plus, you get the scene. Yeah. Then you get the scene of Jack. It's Reacher. Even my mom called me Reacher. Really? Why would your mother call you Reacher?
Yeah, even though, I mean, his mother, his brother, like, everybody and that is straight out of the books. Everybody's always called me Reacher.
Yep.
But yeah, I just the whole thing. Yes, it probably could have used a bigger budget, but like the whole thing, I thought it worked out well. And yeah, Alan Richson, just so I just, again, it's more believable to me that this is, when he stared down the guy in the parking lot.
Yes.
Didn't really say anything. Sorry, I don't do this.
Yeah,
I'm just having a bad day.
It'll never happen again. Yeah. I loved everything about his portrayal. And he was one of the highlights for me from the Titans series.
Yes.
Hawk and Dove were two of my favorite parts of Titans.
Yeah.
So both him and Minka Kelly. And I also like, Brenton Thewlis as Dick Grayson?
Right.
Everybody else, I'm like, they're okay.
I actually thought I can't remember her name, the lady who played Donna Troy. I thought she was great.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah. But the Hawk and Dove stuff, whenever they were on the screen, to me was some of the best stuff on Titans.
Right. Now, have you seen everything that's been released so far on Titans?
No, I haven't seen season 3 yet.
Oh, damn it! There was something I wanted to bring up, and I can't.
Well, now I'm gonna go watch season 3 because now, I've got that Alan Richson thing going back in my head. Like,
yeah. It is funny that I don't think of him as Aquaman anymore.
Yeah.
Speaking of Smallville.
Yes.
Oh my God!
Someone made that connection that it was like, oh, there's two Smallville actors. I went, I knew it, and I still didn't make the connection.
I literally just now was when I was like, wait.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't play off of Kristen Kruk. He played off of Erica Durance.
Yeah.
So.
But just, I mean, I made allowance for the Cruise movies. Even I knew I was going in with expectations, and I tried to balance them out. But yeah, it's sort of nice to watch Reacher and not have to try and go, okay, well, by the way, a friend of mine had a part in the Jack Reacher movie, and whatever else you can say about him, Tom Cruise takes care of the people on the sets.
I have heard that from everybody.
Yeah.
There's a local radio station here. You're probably familiar with them. Back when they were on the air, Kevin and Bean.
Yeah.
Kevin had a chance to go interview Tom Cruise, but he was already it had fallen through, and he went to the movies to see the movie that Tom Cruise was in. I don't remember what it was at the time.
Yeah.
Then they called him as he was in the theater about to watch the movie and said, Mr. Cruise is available right now if you can get over here. Well, you don't pass up an interview like that. So he left the theater and went over and did the interview. And they left the tape rolling. But afterwards, Cruise goes, "Have you seen the movie yet?" He goes, "I haven't yet. I was in the theater to see it just a few minutes, and then they called me and said you were available. So I came over, so I'm going to have to go back to the theater to watch it." He goes, "You had already paid for the movie and sat down?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, that sucks." And he calls his assistant over, asks for some money, and basically pays him, the money for the ticket, and then goes, "You'd grab some stuff from the concession stands, right?" He goes, "Yeah, a drink and some candy." So he gives him like $30 to cover that because he felt bad.
Yeah.
You hear all this stuff about Tom Cruise, but this is a guy who's concerned that this interviewer was out $30 so he could come interview him.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's hard to square that up, So I tend to go with moments like that and go, okay. It's like the Keanu Reeves stuff you hear. It's like, Keanu just sounds like a great guy, So
Yeah.
Tom's got some issues, but he sounds like he takes care of his people. Oh, he flipped out on set. He flipped out on set because somebody was being unsafe during a pandemic.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, like, yeah, well, anyway, yes, you hear things, and certainly he has some affiliations that it's like, yeah. But yeah, it sounds like, he has, in this case, the gal, he had a couple scenes with him, and they had a scene anyway, but he had like this coffee cart that they brought for him.
Uh-huh.
And then he was just like, did you guys want some coffee? Like off of my private cart? Like, kind of, because on a set, I'm sure most people just go like, well, he's top billing, and you don't.
But actors are that, from what I understand, a lot of actors are that way. My own experience when I was on the set of Dexter, I'm sitting on an orange crate in the corner, makeup already done to look dead, just waiting for them to call me onto the set. And I'm about 5 feet from craft services, and all the actors are coming up to craft services, and every one of them stops and goes, "Do you want anything?" And I don't mean like, I mean Michael C. Hall, all the actors. When I was in getting makeup done, the woman that played LaGuardia asked if I wanted anything from the food truck while she was going. I'm a 1-day extra.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's how they treat those people. And it's like phenomenal to me.
But you were an essential extra.
That's right. I had a name.
Somebody had to be sprawled out on that floor.
I was a named extra. Yes.
Yes. So, but yeah, but it was great to watch something with Reacher that felt more like the image I had in my head.
Yeah.
I did like that they gave him, even though I think Reacher normally in the books normally talk about him having like fairly plain. I don't believe he usually wears boots.
Yeah.
But they had Richson in those to give him just a little bit extra, because I think he's 6'2" or 6'3".
Yeah.
So but with the boots, that gave him that little bit of added height. And
hey, they could have hired me. I would have come down and done the part. Give me one of those Marvel workout guys. 6 months, I'd be ready to go.
There you go. I don't know why they wouldn't do that.
I don't know. I can act.
Don't you know Dexter is on my resume?
That's right. I've got acting. I took classes. I got acting chops. So
I was not suggesting you didn't.
Yeah, I mean, hell, for almost a year now, everybody thinks I like you. So, I mean, there's some good acting.
I don't understand it either.
Yeah. But, all right, guys, we're going to wrap it up here. Great.
Good Lord. That went fast.
I know. We had so much to talk about.
Yeah.
So, loved Reacher. Definitely recommend watching it. Can't wait to see how they're going to wrap up Book of Boba Fett. Can't believe there's still 2 episodes of Peacemaker left. And thoroughly enjoying Vox Machina. This has been a very positive show.
Yeah, it really has.
I know. I haven't
came around on Vox Machina.
Yeah. So, everybody, we'll be back next week with the finale of Boba Fett, more Vox Machina, and more Peacemaker. We will see you soon. Have a great night, everybody.